I'd like to call to order the Whittingham Homeowners Association Greenbriar at Whittingham Community Associating Joint Open Board Meeting for Thursday, March 27, 2005. Will you all please rise for a pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation under God. Okay. Matt, could you please give us a roll call, please?
I would love to. Can everybody hear me okay? Good. Okay, we're going to start with the Whittingham. Tom Clark.
Here.
Jay Respler.
Here.
Bob Brown.
Here.
Kathy Dodano.
Here.
Joe Atanasio.
Here.
Kathy Clark and Gleason.
Here.
And Jeff Simonson.
Okay,
And
who do we have here from management?
let's get the Greenbriar board first.
Okay.
How about Mark Sirks?
Here.
Alan Greenberg?
Here.
Chester Trubinsky?
Here.
And do we have Jack Sandler on Zoom? Nope, no Jack tonight. We're going to go to management. We have Susie Weingartner. Kristen Parisa. And I'm here, Matt Lubit. Michael Mandillo.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Tonight is kind of a special night for us because it's a 1-year anniversary that the board made the decision to hire First Service and bring them in to manage our community. And based on the amount of people here tonight, to the meeting we had a year ago where it was over 600 people who attended, there was a lot of apprehension in regards to whether or not this was going to work for us or not. And they were all legitimate concerns. And I believe we've addressed those concerns. And I think everyone is fairly happy with how we transitioned from a self-managed community to a professionally managed community. And tonight, we have with us the president of First Service, Mike Mandillo. He promised a year ago that when the anniversary came, he would come back and visit us and have a chat with us in regards to what went right, what we could improve on. So he is here tonight to speak to you all and get an update where everyone is. And we'll keep on trying to improve and always make things better here. So in saying that, Mike, could you please come up and say a few words for the people?
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody? So they told me that I have to stay in between this area because of the camera. So that's going to be hard because I move around a little bit. Is this okay on this or a little too loud? Okay. So a year ago.
Step back a little away from the speakers.
Better here?
I think so.
Is that better? Okay, sorry about that. I feel like I'm going further away from you all now. So as Tom said, we were here about a year ago. And when we came here, we had 2 sessions. And the sessions were roughly around 300 per session of your fellow residents and of course you. And we welcome that approach because we knew that this was a journey for you that was new. And when I say the journey was new is that for years as a community, you were self-managed. And as you know, self-managed is that the staff here that managed the day-to-day operations reported into the board. That's also very uncommon in our industry for the reasons I talked about last year with that. And the board and you as a community took a very bold step to transition to bring in a professional management company. But that comes with some areas of concerns. So the things that we heard, and we hear this very common when self-managed communities convert to a management company, is that they feel they're going to lose control. And it's common to feel that way because if you never experienced having a management company, it's actually the complete opposite. You actually gain more control in the situations because now you have us as the conduit to hold us accountable for making sure that we're doing our best to bring standard operating procedures to the community, making sure your financial status and the transparency is clear, working directly with the board because they are our bosses and you are our bosses. And at the end of the day, that we are accountable for making sure that what we call the heart of the house, that means the stuff that you don't see happens every day to make this beautiful community operate, is we are responsible for our contract and the relationship we have with this board is to do our best in delivering that with the team we have here, as well as the team we have behind supporting them. And that just takes time. You can't win respect overnight. You have to earn that. And we knew that. We weren't insulted. We didn't get our feelings hurt when questions were asked what we were going to do or did we deserve to be here. All we asked was for you to give us a chance and for us to do our best in delivering that for you. Now, ultimately, there is something that keeps us very grounded. It's that basically, if you don't like us, you fire us. So that's the one area that we know that we want to stay. We want to be part of this community. Then there's the second part of that contract, which is how we are with the residents here. How are we greeting people? How is our hospitality? How is our service? How's our listening skills? How's our skills in being patient with scenarios? You have new homeowners that come in that aren't familiar with the community, or maybe are shifting from getting on from a technology perspective. It is our job and it's our honor that you allow us to do that. And we try to do our best. I also mentioned that unfortunately, I wish I could tell you that we would be perfect, but we can't, because that area is very difficult to be doing everything perfectly online. What we will try to do is make a perfect effort to improve where we need to improve. But most importantly, it's building a relationship with the community, the residents, and all the vendors that you utilize through our network to make sure they're delivering the service here. It's not an easy task to do that, but that's what we chose to do, and that's what we want to do. And our goal always is at the end of the day, are we improving? You'll never hear us say that we do everything perfectly right, but we want to make sure that we're improving. We are incredibly proud of our team. We also are incredibly proud of the team you had here that transitioned to become First Service Residential Associates. And that was the first task, as well as working with the board in the areas that they wanted to direct us in making sure that the transition also of the financials, that they're secure, that we make sure that we have transparency and you have a really, really solid, very intelligent group of people on this board that care about you and this community. That doesn't mean you agree with them all the time. And by all means, it doesn't mean that they're right all the time, but they are committed. And I have the luxury of knowing all of our communities throughout North America. And the most successful communities are the ones when you have a united front. And I saw that when we came on board, that there was healthy debates. They don't have to agree with each other, but they have to have healthy debates. And the one thing that we said when we came out of meeting the board was that we knew that they came from a good space in reference to wanting to do the right thing. But you have, how many people live here in the community? I know how many homes there are, but how many people would you say? So you have roughly 2,500 people. Very hard to please everybody. it's just very, very hard to please everyone. We've taken a lot of pride in bringing in a lot of our resources to help. The board makes the decisions, but our job is to bring the different resources to help. May that be in your investments, your financial investments, which we did. I knew a year ago when we were out here that we were going to be able to deliver what we said we were going to deliver. But I also knew it would take time until you see the results. Now, again, I'm not claiming we did everything perfect, and that there clearly is still a bit of a mountain to keep climbing. But the team together has really, really been committed to make things happen. So your financial status, as well as the investments, we know that cable was a big concern here, and we have brought some resources to the table. We're still working through that, nothing yet, but we're making headway with that. I know there were some issues and challenges with planned companies, and I committed that I would have them out here, which I did, and also spoke to the CEO of that company as well. And they knew that they had to change the perception and get things right. If not, that it was a short window of where they would not be here, anymore. So progress is important. I think from a standpoint of your community in this area, we manage other communities here, so we leverage those relationships too, so that Matt and the leadership team here has access to their fellow associates at the other communities in Monroe. And what is the benefit of that? Because everyone can learn from each other on a leadership perspective, as well as what's working and what isn't working. Specifically, even with things of leveraging our relationship with the town in areas where we can. And those are the things that we committed to, and we felt very confident and proud that we can do our best in that. But most importantly, we really do and have enjoyed our first year with the residents. All of you that came out tonight, I thank you very much for doing that, because it's on your time. And I have had an opportunity to talk to a good amount of you, and we always welcome your feedback. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's feedback. And from our point of view, it's how we process the feedback, and that's important that we're listening. And we want to continue to have that. And our team is committed and want to keep an open door policy of that. And it's been a pleasure in this first year, but I feel now going into the second year, we now can really also kind of elevate ourselves with you on what are other things coming in the horizon for this, this community. Always looking at your financial status, relationships with contractors and vendors, and making sure that they're properly vetted, making sure that the prices are competitive, so that you're getting what you're asking for. And at the end of the day, the eye sees everything. If things look nice, or if people are smiling and they're saying thank you. So that's also an area we want to keep working on that. I'm happy to, if you're okay, if there's any questions or feedback.
Sure, please. If anyone has any questions for Michael, raise your hand and try to, do we have any handheld mics that we could bring up to the people in the audience so they don't have to be walking all the way down here?
I can walk
I
around with
think we
this.
might have an additional one, Mike. Anyone have any questions? Well,
So the good news is we didn't take over, right? That was the concern. The board still has all the control of what that they should as well. We have one in the back. Yes.
hold on, Gloria. We have a mic coming to you.
Can you guys hear me? Here you go, Gloria.
Thank you. The magazine that was sent to us, that's coming. Now, I'm assuming that's in place of The Voice, or is The Voice still going to exist with the familiarity of the community? The magazine, was that the board's idea, or was that First Service idea?
Matt can answer that directly as our GM.
And we have our interim publisher up on stage, or editor up on stage, Mark Sirks. So it's now called The Pulse, the GW Pulse. Um, The board was really looking for more distribution and a better product. And we had started talking with Senior Publishing, right, Tom? And that's kind of how it came to be.
Yeah.
I mean, first serve,
Gloria, I'm a little confused. Are you talking about the first residential service magazine that you were sent? Is that what you're referring to?
or are you talking about the new newsletter?
Okay, so it's a first service publication. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking about the lifestyle publication that we do on a monthly basis. That comes from our home office. It's a great benefit. Um, We have a lot of people who work behind the scenes to put that together. It's a great publication, and we really just kind of started sending that out to the community. Kristen.
And that publication comes from over 1,500 communities throughout North America that we manage that fall into our lifestyle type communities.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
My question is, I don't know what The Voice cost us, but this magazine looks very nice, beautiful, has all those menus. And it reminds me of, oh, and it's going to be mailed to us. It reminds me of the magazines you have in the supermarket that do the exact same thing. Now, how much is First Service going to charge us for that magazine and the mailing? Because it's not coming to us for free.
Yeah.
It certainly is going to be a
Well,
lot more
all right.
than The
Well,
Voice.
first of all,
Gloria.
Gloria, the publication that First Service put together and sent, that's on them. That's part of their operation. That.
But we're
there's no-
happy to charge.
There's no
if we
charge
like.
to us for that.
There's not going to be a charge.
No,
on
there's
that.
no charge.
So
There's
there'll
no
be,
charge.
we won't find somewhere hidden in the budget. That
Unless you
extra
really
money.
beg me to do that,
No,
I
no,
will
no,
only
no.
do it in that.
No,
se-
Mike, we met a long time ago, last year, and I told you about the name Michael.
Yes,
And
my mom said the same thing.
that's right.
So-
So I'm still holding to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not
Thank you
gonna
for the
cost us
question.
More money for that, right?
Thank you. No,
Okay.
zero.
Any other questions? Any
Gloria,
board member have any?
If you don't mind, let me just clarify. You're talking about a publication that came from First Service. We also are putting together our own Greenbriar at Whittingham publication. That one will be sent to your home. The one, no charge to us, no charge to residents. And that was the arrangement and the reason that we did go to this company, because they were able to offer much more than our current publication or prior publication, The Voice. So the publication you're referring to that First Service sent was at their courtesy. It's not going to be mailed. It's just for all residents to see what First Service is doing. Okay?
Yeah, two separate publications.
As
But
long as-
both of them are at no cost to you, none at all.
As long as we're talking about the Pulse, let me just say for a moment, the April edition will be emailed on Monday to everybody, and it will appear in everybody's mailbox sometime, I believe, later that week, depending on the vagaries of the post office. But the April edition has been printed, it's gone to the post office, and when they deliver it, that delivery, Gloria, will, the free delivery of the newspaper, the Pulse, will not be cost burden to us. It will be just like The Voice was years ago when we used to get it in the mail. After COVID, the publisher of The Voice was unable to continue to offer mail service. And that's really the primary reason for having made this change to this other publisher who was in a better position to provide us with hard copies in our mailbox. And you'll have it shortly. One last thing, I want people to write articles. I want to hear from people in our community, stories of your life, things you've been up to, places you've been, recipes you like, people you've known, whatever it is. If we be interested in it, send it in. We're going to publish it.
Okay. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? All right, well,
Thank you very, very much, everyone. Much appreciated, and thank
thank
you
you,
as well.
thank you. And Michael, and thank you for everything you've done and to the team that you assembled here for us. We're all very happy. Does any other board members like to have any comment?
I would just like to thank Michael. It is not often that the president of an organization as large as First Service takes the time to visit their communities. So I do want to personally thank you, Michael, and Tom and Emily for coming here.
Thank you. And by the way, I did have an opportunity. Tom brought me into the restaurant and I saw it. I've been to the community probably about 3 or 4 times in the year. But I have an opportunity always to see our beautiful communities and the restaurants. Unbelievable what they did from a year ago. Really, really is terrific. I went back in the kitchen, saw the pizza ovens, and the family is, I'm assuming you know, is a very, very famous restaurant family in the Freehold area. So it just looks beautiful. Just all the best, really. It's terrific community. Thank you so much, too.
Michael, thank you very much. Okay, moving on, let's go to reports. Matt, do you have a report for us?
I have a very long report, Tom. And I've known Michael Mandillo for over 10 years. I've never had to speak after him, so now I'm nervous. Okay, on the lighter side, since that's my new thing, I like starting out lighter. Today is the first day of Major League Baseball. And
Hooray.
I think last week, because I know I'm in Mets and Yankees country, I openly admitted I'm a Red Sox fan, so you can take the shots at me. It's okay. But I want you guys to know, if you haven't looked at scores, okay, Red Sox won 5-2, but the Yankees won 4-2, so game on.
Thank you.
All right, guys?
There you go.
And, oh, what's the Mets score? I didn't even look. You don't want to know. And my last tidbit, the outdoor pool opens in 58 days. All right, so we got a lot of things going on because spring is in the air. Just a quick update on some projects. Our Whittingham roof project, we're back in action. We only have 5 buildings left to do. The weather's been fantastic, so we're able to average 1 building a week. So next month, hopefully I report that we're just about done. That would be awesome. We got power washing of all the buildings in Whittingham is going to begin next week. It's been a long time since it's done, 3 years, Susie. So yeah, it's a good project. We really need to get done. The board tonight's going to be voting on spring and fall gutter cleaning over in Whittingham. So more information to come on that shortly. So the crack filling, we talked about last week, the crack filling and the seal coating and the restriping over in Whittingham, the driveways, parking areas, that's approved. We're just waiting for a little bit warmer weather to get that done. So as soon as we have a schedule from the contractor, we'll start pushing some information out to you guys. We also met with a couple contractors for the clubhouse parking lot. We got a lot of cracks and it hasn't been seal coated or striped in years. So we got 2 proposals I just got today. The board hasn't even seen them, but we'll be talking about that in the coming days. So stay tuned on that as well. Our maintenance team already started doing some power washing and things out in the pool area because again, 58 days, right? So a lot of work to be done back there. So we're gonna get some prices on doing some painting and the lattice work and things like that to share with the board. Looks like it needs a lot of maintenance back there, but we want everybody to have an awesome pool season. So we're gonna see if we can get some good things done out there. What else? Well, we talked about storage area in the basement. We kind of paused a little bit of work on that because our guys have been busy, but we're getting back down there on the week of April 10th. Devote some time down there, get that all wrapped up, hopefully. Still looking into some options with the fitness equipment in the gym because we've had some equipment go down. I'm just waiting for a revised proposal from one contractor and vendor, and then we're going to present that to the board to talk about. And we got some gazebos around here, right? So we got a lot of work going on with the gazebos. We got the gazebo over on Chichester's, getting power washed and woodwork done, painted, and a couple of the gazebos out back. And that's a long list for now, and I'm out of wind. Come on, guys.
Okay. All right. All right, Matt, thanks for the report. Kristen, what do you have to report on recreation?
Yes. So this coming Wednesday, April 2nd, we have a bus trip to Parks Casino. It's $30 a person and there's still some seats available. We have 2 movies scheduled for the month of April, Saturday, April 19th, Bank of Dave, and Sunday, April 27th, The Switchgrass. There's no charge for the movies. You just show up to the ballroom. On Monday, April 21st at 1 p.m. in the ballroom, we have a health lecture. The topic is oral health, taking care of your mouth. There's no charge, but we do ask that you sign up with the concierge. Saturday, April 26th at 7 p.m., the Do Be Others will be here at tickets are $30 each and they are selling fast. On Wednesday, May 7th, we have a bus trip to resorts in Atlantic City, which is $30, but you'll get 20 back in slot play. It's on sale now with the concierge. Beginning Monday, March 31st, you'll be able to sign up for our 2025 bus trips to the Theater District of New York. The dates are May 21st, July 16th, and September 17th. And on Saturday, May 24th at 7 p.m. in the ballroom, Vito Pacone and the Elegants will be here singing our favorite doo-wop hits from the 50s and 60s. Tickets will go on sale starting Thursday, April 3rd. And lastly, save the date for our parking lot trunk sale, which will be Saturday, June 7th. The signups will begin Monday, May 5th for that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna skip around a little bit so we keep everything together before we turn it over to Greenbriar. Let's move on to item number 8, the Wellwood Business. We got the approval of the February 18th, 2025 open workshop meeting minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? And if so, can I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Kathy. Matt, can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thanks.
All right, then we have the approval of the February 27th, 2025 joint open meeting minutes. Everyone had an opportunity to review. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Joe. Okay, can I have a roll call?
All right. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thank you.
Okay, so the next item we have is the approval of the contract for the Whittingham Spring and Fall gutter cleaning with Garden State Gutter Cleaning at a cost of $22,391.26, including tax. Do I have anyone in the public who would like to make comment on that contract? Seeing no one in the audience, I'll close that portion. I'll go to the board. Anyone have any comment on it? Okay, seeing nothing from the board. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jeff, second by Bob. Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's go back to item 7. I'll turn it over to the Greenbriar people for their portion of the meeting. Yeah, great.
Okay, so item 7, we just have the approval of the minutes for the February 27th meeting. You want a roll call, Matt?
Sure. Yeah, even better, Alan.
Second? Okay.
Okay,
I
Mark
don't
Sirks.
I don't know what I'm doing. You think I know what I'm doing here?
Mark
Yes.
Sirks,
Yes.
Alan Greenberg, Chester Trubinsky.
Yes.
Thanks.
Budget and Finance hasn't met since the last time we talked. it's just an off-season time for them. It's a little premature to be budgeting for next year at this point in time. However, Kathy and I have a presentation coming up April 3rd and in the evening, where we will be projecting on the screen the results through December 31st, 2024, the full year results for last year, how much money was spent, how much money was brought in compared to what we budgeted. And you'll get to see, how well the budget worked out, what areas we ended up spending more than we anticipated, and so on. Mark Lindell is uninvited to that meeting. Yeah, I can. So we will have that April 3rd. Covenants, I don't think met for anything. Covenants not meeting means nobody's breaking the law. So that's a good thing. So again, Chester, site review.
Site review met on March 4th. 5 applications were reviewed, all were approved. 4 inspections were conducted. This is rather light duty for site review. Normally, we run into the 20s and beyond in terms of applications and inspections. I just have 2 other matters to bring to your attention very quickly. One has to do with a memo that will come out from property management dealing with the transformer box. That's the green box that sits on some front lawns. Basically, we're just reminding people to trim the shrubs around that box. It's important for the utility company to have access to that, as well as to keep your property looking good. Our standard for clearance around the box is 1 foot side and rear, and enough room in the front for a technician to open the door and gain access. I just want to make you aware that the utility company has a more aggressive, demanding standard. They're asking for 3 feet around the box, front and rear, side and rear, excuse me, and 10 feet in the front, which seems a bit much given the size of our property. 10 feet would put you out in the street in most cases, and 3 feet would be into your neighbor's yard in some cases. Anyway, you just should be aware that if something happens in that transformer box and the utility company needs to get in there, they may remove your shrubs. So just keep an eye on what the situation is. On a second matter, it relates to building permits. We are now requiring that building permits be closed out. Actually, this was always a requirement, but never enforced. What happens is when the building inspector comes by and looks at the generator, HVAC installation, the deck, whatever, they do final inspections and they issue a white sticker, which they sign off on. Now, in the case of decks, they usually hand it to you and you can put it in with your records. What we are requesting for the future is that a copy of this approved sticker, photocopy, would be sent to property management to close out your file. In the case of, if you're not able to get a photocopy of it, it's on inside, we'll say, the transfer switch on your generator. Then you can go to the construction office and ask them for a certificate of approval, which you will get in a week. The important part here is that until property management receives this information, they will not approach site review for an inspection of your property, which ultimately will delay the return of your $250 check. So just be aware of it. The details of this procedure are on the architectural modification application, the bottom of page 2. Thank you.
Chester, the copy you're talking about, they could take it with a camera and send it in, right? It doesn't need to be a photocopy. It could be a picture photocopy.
Yeah. Yeah. That would work. Picture, photocopy.
Okay, so for newcomers, we just had a meeting this past Monday, the 24th. It was our first meeting probably in about 4 months. We tend to do these 3 to 4 times per year. There's approximately 25 new members of our community who came. It's a very welcoming group. We get people to engage, become social, maybe meet some new people. Am I not being heard? Are you folks hearing me? Okay. No, I don't need it. So yeah, it was again a great group of people who came out. We'll have another session probably in about 3 months or so, depending on how many new people should be moving in. I just wanted to make sure to thank Joan Hermely, who is the chair of the newcomers, and all the wonderful people who are part of the committee who make this community so much warmer when new people move in. Thank you.
Okay, so that's completion of your business, Mark. We'll move on to item 9 to the lower part of the business. Do I have a report for the budget and finance?
Okay, first, I'd like to introduce our controller from First Service, Emily Begley, who is instrumental in helping us get through every month. She works very closely with our staff accountant, again, a dedicated staff accountant for our community. So I speak with them several times a month. Okay, so February numbers are coming in, and we will have shortly, we will have February results. And as I've been saying every month, they will be available on the portal for everyone to review. As Mark indicated, we are having a budget workshop. I just want to clarify the hours that the sessions will take place. We will have 5:30 will be discussion on WOA. Again, this is all to talk about 2024 actual results. 6:30 will be Whittingham condos, and 7 o'clock will be Greenbriar. We will have a little presentation, and as Mark indicated, we'll just go through where we were for 2024 against the 24 budget and how it compares to the 2025 budget. And the date is April 3rd. It is Thursday evening, next Thursday. And just one last item, just to clarify, we normally do not meet, as Mark indicated, for with the Budget and Finance Committee until the first quarter results. That's when we have at least a good 3 months to review the actuals and then discuss where we are in comparison to the budget. So that will probably occur. Our first Budget and Finance Committee meeting will occur in May, in May for March results. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Do I have anything to report on the covenants? All right, nothing to report on covenants. The Entertainment Committee?
Kristen went through most of this stuff up until May and June, but the Entertainment Committee is working really hard, myself and Bob Brown, along with them, and we're pretty much booked out till next May with a really diverse group of talent. And the way it's been run, it's been a very, very positive experience, especially in terms of money. So we're trying to see if we can put together a really blockbuster show for next year at one point. And we appreciate the participation of everyone. I mean, the results and the people that have turned out for these shows are just fantastic. And I want to thank you for it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Do I have a report from the Landscape Committee?
We met with Landscape Committee on Tuesday morning. We discussed a lot of the landscaping around the community and items that we've noticed have either really need to be replaced. We're going to get proposals from certain landscaping companies, and then we as a committee will discuss what we should tackle first. So hopefully within the next few months, we're going to see some improvements around the community.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Do I have a report on site review?
All right, we had 4 new applications for windows and patio doors or patio projects, and they're currently doing 5 inspections to approve completed applications.
Okay,
Yes, total.
all right, thank you, Jeff. All right, brings us to our Town City Committee report. Jay, you have a report for us?
At the last town center meeting, these were the things that were reported. The artwork is in place and complete in the front multipurpose room. The estimate to repair the treadmill in the gym is $1,300. The committee was discussing possibly purchasing 2 new treadmills, which would cost $7,100. The Wobble Board is discussing all options in regard to the fitness center. This one's my favorite. The blinds were installed in the indoor pool area. Yeah. The ballroom dance floor border repair is complete. HVAC units in the back of the town center are now all level. The downstairs storage room refreshment is in progress. The committee asked if the Greenbriar Whittingham signs where you enter the community can be replaced or refreshed because they are looking run down. The area next to the pro shop should be better maintained. The committee wasn't sure if this was golf's responsibility or ours. We'll have to work that out. That's the end of the report, but I should mention there are 2 spots near the nurse's office that are for vans with handicap or scooter, that are handicap scooter equipped in order to raise or lower them. These are not handicap spots. They're only if you have a van with a motorized wheelchair. There have been cars that are parked over there. They're not handicapped. If you park in those spots, you will get a ticket and maybe even towed. So please don't park in where the yellow signs where it says van accessible. Those are only for vans, not for handicap.
Okay, thank you, Jay. That moves us to the open forum. If anyone in the audience would like to address any issue that they have on their mind, please come up to the microphone, clearly state your name and your address for the record. Whoever's, see, I have Wayne making a mad dash here, so we'll make sure you're first.
Wayne Baruch, 43 Winton's Way. For starters, let me just give Chester a nice thank you. So when I was still on the board, I had cited that we really should be accurately citing the JCP&L standards, the power company standards for distances from our transformers. And thank you, by the way, for citing that accurately. So back on March 11th, I sent this letter, handed this letter, to Matt Lubis. And Matt has always proved himself to be a man of honor. And he said that he was going to give this letter, including all the attachments, to the Greenbriar board. I trust that he did that. He said he was going to do it, and I trust him. So my question is, why is that agenda point not on our agenda? And I just want to read for you this letter that I gave to the Greenbriar board, or that I asked Matt to give. Hello, Matt, please ask.
Wayne, I just want to remind you, we got 3 minutes, so try
We
to get
got
through it.
3 minutes, but this is an issue that's been going on and on. This is an area in which the Greenbriar board is actually negligent. They are violating our bylaws. They are violating our rules, and I cited them right here. And it's continuing, and it's a point at least of inconvenience, if not a lack of safety. at this particular intersection that I'm citing. I could go on and on and on about it. I've asked that it be dealt with. It's here in our rules and they are continuing to ignore it. So, I mean, I asked that this be dealt with properly as an agenda point and it was ignored again. So why? You know what? I don't even remember when Mark was talking with Bob Falsek and he said, I don't report to you. He doesn't report to you or me. Mark doesn't care about any of us. And that's why he shoved it under the rug again. So I could read this letter. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. There was something called a site triangle at the intersection of Leeds and Whittingham, and it remains unsafe. I could show each and every one of you who lives on Leeds, who lives on Winton's Way, what's going on and why it's a danger to each and every one of us when we pull out at that intersection. We are violating the rule about a rolling stop. It's in here. We are prohibited from doing that, but we can't comply with that rule because of that site triangle issue, because we can't properly see to the northwest toward the guard shack and ideally toward the southeast, toward the clubhouse. It needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with properly. I don't know what else to do. The only other possibility is this. So when you know about a rule, right? You've been told about a rule many times. You continue to violate that rule. It seems to me that it's called negligence. And if something gets hurt, somebody gets hurt, I hope it never happens. You know, a smart lawyer will drive a truck right through that argument and say, look, you're negligent. Now, what is that going to do to us? Well, it's going to go against the liability policy.
1 minute, Wayne.
That liability policy goes against the premium that we all pay. Now, ideally, if that smart lawyer managed to breach the directors and officers policy and get them individually and personally, I think that'd be great. And I would promise to help anybody who's injured in any of these kinds of site triangle issues to see me, and I will help your attorney. I will help your insurance company to go after these people. I've had it with them. We've had it with them. It's easy. The solution is right here in our rules. They need to comply with our rules.
Thank you. I just want to address this issue. Listening to your discussion the last time that you came up, we did hold a meeting with Bob Fosak to understand exactly what the issues were. 3 members of WOA did meet with him. We discussed each issue. We are going to take the time to sit with the Greenbriar board. We will all work together to better understand what those concerns were. According to Bob, and I'm sorry that he's not here, but we're bringing him up. According to Bob, there are very simple fixes for these. And so because he gave us these simple solutions, we will work together to try to take care of these problems if they are really problems.
The site triangle issue at Leeds and Whittingham, and I know that you and Rich deal with the same issue, pulling out at that intersection, is a matter that bush is way overgrown from when it was originally planted 25 years ago. That can't be allowed. Our standards for bushes and shrubbery say that it shouldn't be allowed.
We are going to work to address these issues. We all have to work together. We will go out, walk these areas to understand.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
Wayne, thank you. All right, anyone else have, please come up. You're next. I think you were coming up, yeah. Cut at the pass.
Hi, I live in Whittingham, and I want to address the fence. My
Sure.
house has the original fence, and it's starting to fall down. So Matt, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it.
Yeah, if you're concerned about the fence on the Whittingham side, the board is actively looking at two proposals right now for some of the fences to be replaced.
Well, that's perfect. Okay.
So, yes, and
I
you'll
just don't want
probably,
it to fall down.
what's your address?
77G.
77. You're
Just so
probably
you're
gonna be,
signing
you're probably gonna be in that mix that's gonna get the
Okay.
fences
That's
replaced.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Regina?
Hi, I'm Regina Savarese, 90 Harwood Road. My big concern, okay, I've written a letter to the mayor, actually, also, Mayor Delina. What's happening is on Harwood Road, I never knew we had a problem like this until I got a dog a year and a half ago. As you're walking up the block towards the library, that turn from Newcastle Road, it's very dangerous. It's as you're walking, you have speed limit signs that indicate 25 miles per hour. But guess what? Nobody adheres to that. As I'm walking the dog, I almost got hit several times. And I just want to tell you that as a pedestrian walking my dog, or even if I wasn't walking a dog, just walking, the people, as they come around the curve, they go like 30, 35 miles an hour. It doesn't give you time to step aside. And something has to, a sign does not work. That 25-mile-per-hour sign that you put up does not work. I don't know who's responsible for that. I wrote to Mayor Delina requesting his help on this situation. I don't know who else to turn to. It's like an accident waiting to happen. And I know what it's like to get hit firsthand by a vehicle, not sitting in my car, but walking as a pedestrian. In East Brunswick parking lot in 2013, I was hit in the parking lot by a woman driving her vehicle as she went to turn from a ShopRite corner there, if you know the Mid-State Mall at all in East Brunswick, and she hit me straight on. Well, she flung me back about 10 feet back. I had multiple surgeries after that. I'm lucky I'm alive to hear to talk about it. But what I'm trying to say is this an accident waiting to happen that nobody wants to do anything about it? It's terrible. I'm asking for help with this, and I don't know who to turn to.
Okay, I'll let Mark answer.
Yeah.
He's got an answer for you because that's basically a Greenbriar
Right,
road.
Yeah.
I understand that. I
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I've
Let
been
Mark
told
answer
that,
that.
yeah.
Regina, I couldn't hear everything clearly, but I think you're referring to the stretch of Harwood as it approaches Newcastle,
Right.
being a speedway.
Right, well, as I'm walking from my house, 90
Yeah, by
Harwood.
the library. No, I got it.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know, as you were talking about it, we had a traffic committee that worked on a lot of things. One of the areas they discussed was what's called traffic calming. And there are various techniques for traffic calming. The most common one that people know about are speed bumps. That's a traffic calming technique. There are others. There were also speed humps or tables, speed tables, which are the longer, shallower, flatter speed bumps that are not quite as jarring as an ordinary speed bump. That committee addressed that quite thoroughly, and as other committees have in the past, came away feeling that it wasn't well received by this community. Unfortunately, that's one of the better tools for slowing down traffic on these sorts of streets. And the drivers who are speeding past you on Harwood live in our community. They're our people. They're us.
Oh, I know that.
They're us.
Trust me, I know
But,
that.
you know, as you're talking about it, it occurs to me the issue with speed humps and speed bumps and traffic tables and all those were associated with people not wanting them in front of their house, not wanting them to have to hit the brakes. And also it had to do with the emergency vehicles, which I have to tell you personally, I have less empathy for that issue than I do for other issues. But that stretch of Harwood is largely without any properties on it.
There's no properties.
There's no
Did I tell
homes.
you have
That
the,
might be,
you have the golf course on one side.
right,
And then you
that
have,
might be a very good, appropriate place to put this sort of traffic calming, maybe a speed table.
something has to be.
I would really support that notion of putting them over there. And maybe as a starting point, then we could put them further into these wider streets. But, Alan, you ever thought on it? You worked on that committee. You ever thought on that? Am I off base here? Am I-
That place is like an accident waiting to happen. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to survive again if I get hit. I've been
No, I
through
get
so
it.
many
I get it.
surgeries.
You have
I-
any thoughts on it? You know, if I put you on the spot, don't put on the spot. It just occurred to me.
I'm asking for help, please.
So I was a co-chair of the Traffic Safety Committee, which was a committee that formed as a WOA ad hoc committee, I guess about 2 years or so at this point.
Right.
It was not the first time that there was a traffic committee trying to address speeding in the community. Our group met 15 or so times, once a month, and we were seeking ways to try and calm traffic and reduce speeding throughout the community. Speed bumps, speed humps, speed tables, and speed cushions, all different but similar, were all discussed. And universally across the committee, it was decided it was something that would not be the best thing for our community.
Why not?
Part of that is what Mark just discussed. In addition to having it in front of your home.
It's not in front of the house. There's no house.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but in general, in front of people's homes, there's also a noise concern when people are flying over that.
Not
I
an
understand what you're
exception.
saying because of where you're living, but I'm just saying in general, that's why they were not reviewed. We can meet as a board, as Greenbriar. We can't make a decision on it tonight, but we can meet as a Greenbriar board and collectively with the WOA board and seek solutions that might make sense, but we can't give you an answer on it tonight.
I'm not asking for an answer tonight. I'm just asking you to please look into it.
Okay.
For the
Okay.
safety, there's so many people that have dogs and where they walk the animals, they go right into by the library areas because that's where you go, that the animal does not defecate in the street, you pick up and you bring your pet home. And it's a shame. Is this like you're waiting for an accident to happen? Someone to get hurt or killed to do something about it? Because that's what Midstate Mall did. They waited until they made an example out of me and they
Right.
actually
Regina,
started implementing.
we hear you
stuff.
loud and clear,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
we are going to, we'll meet with them. There are some improvements coming on the Wowa side, coming hopefully in May when the weather improves. We're able to get some stuff done on the roads. We've got some plans. We'll probably announce all that probably at the next meeting. So we are aware of some of the concerns and we will address it. We'll work with the Greenbriar on their roads over there to see if we can be a partner with them to help improve the problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do want to add also, having tried to do a lot of research on these techniques, there's also an issue with the speed bumps, although I thought it was a great idea. There's a liability issue. What ends up happening a lot of times with speed bumps is someone who is traveling fast hits the bump and loses control. So they've started to do away with them in the communities. This is not a problem here only. It seems to be a problem at every community. And all we can do is work with our residents and remind them, please, stay within the speed limit. I have a heavy foot. Since I've come into this community and listened to all these concerns, I have never exceeded the limit by more than 3 miles an hour. I'm not going to get there any faster.
Okay, well, we hear you, we hear you. So we will have a discussion about it. Is there anyone else who wants to come up? And, okay, come on up. I can't see who's behind the curtain there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is James Perillo, 59 Harwood Road. And I agree with this young lady here. But since I've been living here, we've been discussing traffic and nothing has been done. I'm going to leave it like that. My question is, when someone puts an a work foreman, a generator, painting your door. Now, as far as the generator, the last thing you had referred was a white sticker. Is that the final inspection from the township? And you take a picture of that and you send it to management, right? Now, I had a generator put in, but I wasn't required to do that. So I'm exempt from that from right now, or I still need to do that?
Backwards on these standards. So.
All right, so I'm exempt from that from right
You're
now.
exempt,
Okay, great.
yes.
Now, the last question I have is, my front door is stained. I
Okay.
don't want to change the color. I don't want to do anything, just refinish it the same color. Do I still have to put a work order in for that, or could I just do it?
I believe you need an application.
Okay, fine. All right.
The reason for the application is we're trying to get some control over what's going on in the community.
I'm not making no changes, none at all,
I
just
understand.
like, just repainting this the same
Right.
color. It's
I
not gonna be
understand.
red, black, blue.
Right.
So I start to do an application, fine. If that's what it's gonna be, it's gonna be.
It's annoying, but it gives us a way to keep the community looking the same as what the builder intended for us.
Right. Okay, I got you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Someone else? Michelle?
I need to
Raise your
apologize.
hand, just walk up to the line.
Okay, my name is Michelle Polk. I live at 8 Ramsey.
Michelle,
Way.
can you get a little closer to the microphone?
Right
That's
now.
good. Speak close to it.
Okay, Michelle Polk, and I live at 8 Ramsey Way. I have to apologize from the. get-go.
Raise it up.
Now,
Put the boom closer to your
it
mouth.
doesn't stay.
Yeah. Is there a clip there to hold it?
No. There's a screw. Now we're,
There you go.
all right, so I apologize from the get-go because after looking at the agenda, there's numbers of repetitiveness. So if I look at Greenbriar, we have a budget and finance. I look at WOA, we have a budget and finance, and I go down the list, covenants, site review, et cetera, et cetera. If we do in fact have one board, are we eliminating some of these committees and are we having only one for the entire community if we combine boards?
Yeah, go ahead. Kathy, answer it.
So for some of the committees, for example, Budget and Finance, we need to maintain two separate, absolutely
Get it.
positively. We will have two separate Budget and Finance groups because there are separate budgets. Covenants, because there are still distinctions, at least initially, between Greenbriar parking rules and regulations and violations and WOA parking rules and regulations. There would have to remain two separate boards. Site review also would have to remain separate.
Okay, so,
Everything else, for the most part, I mean, pretty much stays as it is.
okay. Now I just have to thank the board for all they have been doing over the course of time since the new board has come in. I also need to thank you, Jay. You did a great job at the dinner for recognizing people for their efforts. However, I think there's time where we need to limit the number of people on specific committees. There's not 10 people living in our community that the 10 people need to be on more than one committee. I think there needs to be a cap. Pick one committee, be on it. Numbers of people are moving into our community and they certainly have expertise to be able to join different committees, but don't have the opportunity because the slots are already filled. In addition, I think I would like to explore the responsibility of security. Every week, count it every week. I notify security, I'm having somebody come in, and every week I get a call asking if the guy can come in. I'm paying him for a half hour to do a lesson, and he's being stopped at the gate, literally and figuratively, after having called. So they need a log, and they need to look at the log, which they're obviously not doing. So somehow or other, there needs to be differentiation as to what is the job of security, and are they in fact handling it as it is deemed necessary, whether it be by WOA or whether it be by MAT. Okay. As far as Republic, I was one of those unfortunate people to have the Republic arm break. So because the arm broke, Republic was unable to come out and actually pick up the recyclables. So allegedly they're coming tomorrow. We don't know when they're coming tomorrow, but allegedly they're coming tomorrow to pick them up. I'd like us to explore the possibility of Republic as to, do we really need 3 times a week pickup? We don't. Clearly we don't. from the months of probably, I had down here, I guess it was November to March. I could understand that perhaps we need pickup. November to March, we don't because the snowbirds leave. There's hardly any teeters that are out. Why are we paying for them to come by 3 times if there's nothing? However, during the months of April to October, based on the fact that the snowbirds come back and we have full house of people, yes, we probably do need it 3 times a week, but spread them out a bit. Having one day on Tuesday, another day on Wednesday, and then coming up
1
on
minute.
Saturday is ridiculous. If somebody has that much trash, I'd like to see it because I don't even put out my. I do
Okay,
not put it
Michelle,
out.
I actually was very interested in what you're saying a good number of years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And I spearheaded an effort to do just that, reduce our pickups to 2 days a week during the winter and 3 days a week during the summer. And boy, did I get my head handed to me for that one. Number one, the people who were left here were saying, why do we not get the same benefits we always get that the snowbirds get that we don't get for not having a third pickup? The other issue we had were people saying, I have people over and I have big parties and I have a lot of garbage. and Now I have to wait a whole other week to throw it out. We tried this and I took the rap for coming up with a really bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, Mark. It's just the
Well,
timing of it.
You and I may agree that it wasn't a bad idea, but
And
the
that's pretty
community
amazing that we
reacted
definitely
very
agree.
badly to it. And yeah, it was a good lesson. I thought it was a great idea and I thought we'd save a lot of money in it.
Do I
Let
still
me
have
just,
one?
at this point, it's kind of mute, the whole argument. We have a contractual obligation under the current contract. So we're kind of stuck with that, whether
Okay.
we wanted to change it or not. When the contract comes up for renewal, that could be a discussion.
Okay. All right. I don't want to belabor the things that I have because I basically covered what I wanted to. The only thing is Kristen works really hard on this garage sale that's taking place in the upper parking lot. The town is doing the same thing. Now, based on the fact that the town is having a town-wide garage yard sale on May 17th, are we able to piggyback and do something like that even though we're in a gated community?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just real quick to answer the question, because we have to be fair with the time allotment at the microphone.
Well, if Mark didn't share with me his information, I probably would.
We're going to be having a closed session where we caucus and we discuss how we're going to handle matters like this. I think it's April 7th is our next one. So that's going to be on the table for discussion.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much and thank you for all you
Okay.
guys do.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Good evening. Don Katz, 119 Leeds Lane. I wasn't planning on coming up to speak, but we had a prior presentation referencing, we had a prior presentation or discussion about site triangulating easements. That's my property. And for those who don't know, I'm an attorney. For a quarter century, I was co-chairman of the real estate committee of Middlesex County Bar Association, so I know the story. What was referenced before is both wrong on law and on the facts. The site triangle easement, for those of you who don't know, is an easement on a corner of a property that is done in connection with when the property is developed. So it's a site triangle allows the people to see on a corner. There is a site triangle easement at that corner. It is 25 feet. It's there. It was approved. It's proper. It's there. And the reference to a bush is 100 feet past the end of the site triangle. It's way outside of what is legally there. There's no issue in terms of a lawyer can sue for anything. I don't sue, but I could. But a lawyer can sue for anything. There is no problem there. Thank you.
I don't want to get into a debate on this tonight. This is not the time or the place for this debate. Wayne, I see you looking to come back up at some point. You've made your point. It's been taken by the board and we appreciate your comments. Mr. Katz is entitled to his opinion as well. This will be discussed further, as we said. So it'll be discussed further. But, we're not going to debate the issue here tonight. Regina, I'll give you a minute real quick.
Yeah, just a minute. I disagree with that nice little woman that came up about the garbage pickup, because people do cook. I cook every day. And for me to cut down on my trash pickup, what do you want me to put the bags out in the street? I mean, really, not for nothing, that's wrong. So I really hope you keep what you have right
Okay.
now. That's it.
All right, Regina, thank you.
Hi, good evening. Marie Montagudo, 44 Harwood. I have two questions. Okay, the first is, actually, first I want to thank the board. I asked through Zoom a couple of months ago to have the minutes posted on the website, and they are now there. However, I have a follow-up request. Tonight was mentioned that there's 2,500 residents in our community. And on Zoom, I noticed there's like 60 or 70, and tonight may be about the same number. So that's a very small percentage of the 2,500 residents in our community. So my question is there any reason that the minutes of these board meetings, once they're approved, cannot be sent out via email? We send out information about events, flyers, when the next board meeting is coming, what's the agenda, but what's the outcome? So unless any of the 2,500 residents that are not here think, oh, let's see, I need to go to the website to find out what happened. So that's my first question. Is there-
Kristen, the meetings are all up on the internet, right? Yeah, anybody can go look on the internet and see the minutes of all our meetings.
Okay, I hear you on that, but the question, I come from a communication background.
Okay,
I believe in
I hear what you're
push-
saying. I mean,
Push technology.
all right, I can't constantly be sending, perhaps staff send emails out reminding people about this being out there. I can do maybe once or twice a year, reminding people. I don't want to overload people with emails coming out of us, because then they tend to ignore them because they think it's a nuisance. So I want to make sure everyone's reading what we're sending. But we can send a fresh reminder if you have any concerns or you would like to know what was said at previous meetings, that these things are online and they can go on to.
Okay, the request is out for a reminder to go to the website. The request is to simply attach a PDF of the minutes to an email. We
Well,
have these
I
meetings
don't know what people are
once
going to
a
be
month.
looking for. So we'll basically tell them where they can go get the information. And if they're able to do that, they can find it, I'm sure.
Okay, I spoke to one of the first service representatives tonight. So, and you
1 minute.
also this morning, not this morning, at the beginning of the meeting, we heard that we will listen to your concerns. So I hope that First Residential can speak to the board on my behalf. The second question is, at the last meeting, there was a review by the Board of Residents about presenting programs. Has the board reviewed that question, and have you come to any conclusion?
What was the question again? I didn't, I missed something. Yeah, I missed something.
It
What was
has, at the
Was
last,
this about the gentleman who came about teaching classes?
yes.
Okay. Well, again, when we caucus, as I was trying to explain to the gentleman a week ago, we caucus once a month. We don't work at this 7 days a week. So when we do get together, that's on the agenda for discussion on how we're going to put a policy together to address that issue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for hearing me out.
All right, thank you for coming. Okay, you want to say something, sir? Okay, is there going to be anyone else after this gentleman? I'm going to make you the last speaker then, and then we'll close the portion. So go ahead, sir. Go ahead, name and address?
Yeah, hi, Phil Mazer. I'm at 1 Chichester Highway, and I say highway because the speeding by my house is ridiculous. It's expressway, yeah. They're going 40, 50 miles an hour. They can't even stay within the lane. They're crossing into the other lane because it's not a straight road, it's curved. So the idea about admonishing people and asking people to stay within the speed limit just doesn't work. So you're more than welcome in front of my home, Alan, if you'd like to put a speed bump. I welcome it, open arms, please do it. Second thing, Matt, you had a point about the Whittingham side getting a lot of work done with the crack refills and the gutter cleaning and the how. Is there any way people from the Greenbriar side to piggyback onto that, pay for it ourselves? But while the teams are on the property, have them come and take a look at what we need while they're here already. And maybe we
have our
can
own,
do that.
we do have our own crack repair program in place on the Greenbriar side. The, all the streets
aware.
at this moment in time, in the past 10 years, every street in Greenbriar has been newly repaved. But every year, we go back and look at the cracks and fill them in. So it's done on a regular basis. Does that mean every crack on every street in Greenbriar gets done? No.
Yeah, Mark, I meant more the driveways and the sidewalks. That's what I was talking
No,
about.
no, the driveway is your own responsibility.
Okay, that's why,
No,
On,
when you
on,
do,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, on the Whittingham side,
no.
the condo side, they pay for that. It's in their maintenance fees.
not aware.
yeah,
And,
you would contract with your own contractor to redo your driveway.
Okay.
You'd have to get approval through the site committee.
But perhaps for the
No,
gutter
no.
cleaning and the power
You
washing.
can't piggyback onto the HOA contract that's going on in Whittingham. You'd have to reach out if you go on social media and ask who's had their driveway done, or you
run-
can call
yeah.
resident services
Yeah.
and recommendations,
I
but
understand.
it's not possible for a homeowner to piggyback on the HOA's contract. That can't happen.
And last thing about the utility boxes you were talking about. Sometimes there might be a case where there's a discrepancy about whose property that box is on. And I have that situation with my neighbor. And I know it's not on my property, but yet everything's very overgrown. So is there a committee that can come out and take a look at that?
The problem with the utility box, some of them do sit right on the line, and it's half yours and quote, half the other person's.
my
And I've
case.
seen homes where one person maintains it quite well, another person lets it overgrow. It's unfortunate because the neighbors aren't speaking to one another. I'm not sure I have an answer for you on this one here. Just trying to bring it to everyone's attention, especially new homeowners in the community that may want to screen this ugly green box from view, spend some time and effort putting in landscape around it. And then they have to be aware that if there's a fire in that box or the transformer needs to be upgraded, some of them are quite old by now, and they can't get in, they're going to take out their chainsaws
understand.
and make room.
That's fine. Just to cut you off, in my instance, though, the utility box is not divided upon two properties.
Mhm.
It's solely on my neighbor's property. I'm sure of that. It's just
Okay.
that they're not aware of it. So can I request somebody take a look at it, maybe give them a notification about, what they need to do?
Esther, the answer to this is,
Phil.
if this were an issue that the homeowners association, GWCA, was enforcing certain rules about maintaining these boxes on people's lawns, then that would fall within our purview to say, go to that homeowner and say, we're enforcing these rules. But if we're not universally enforcing them anyhow, we're just putting them out there saying, this is the requirements, this is what you need to know, this is what JCP&L requires, but we're not issuing violations, then we don't really have a specific role in notifying. You may want to turn to your homeowner, the next door neighbor, and say, this thing's really badly overgrown, and if it becomes a problem that they have to get into the box, it's going to be a mess. Or if you find it aesthetically unpleasing, you could talk to them. But since we haven't taken an active role in pointing the finger at every box that is now non-compliant, we can't just choose your neighbors and say, you have to comply. And we don't want to point the finger at every box that's non-compliant. People won't be happy.
Regina, we have it closed, the public portion. We have Zoom, so I know we need to get some questions from Zoom hopefully, the sound was good for them tonight, I'm hoping.
I think so.
Okay.
We have a couple questions that were on here that we already answered in the chat, and there's a couple comments about the garbage and things like that. And there's a few I think I'd like to just take offline and talk to the residents myself, if that's okay.
Okay. All right, so nothing directly to the board then?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll close that up. So that brings us to our adjournment, so I will make a motion to adjourn. Moved by Jay, second by Kathy. Right, second over there by Chester. All right, well, thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate it, and thank you for all the support. Thank you.